Difference between 1 million and 10 million is a lot. That's a lot. That's a much bigger business. That's forget the fact that, oh, okay, it's 10 times more. No. That's a totally different ballgame.
All right, people, listen. This is a very good battle. This is battle time, right? Not like the old school days when me and Moose battled for one time and that was it, right?
Facts.
We were like, yo, do y'all like us battling? They're like, yeah, and we never battled again.
Right. We tried, but I don't know that we ended up battling. It was know what? You're right. Yeah. Nah, you're right. Yeah.
Right. So here's the battle, right? Paid content versus organic content, right? Do we pay ads for everything that we're doing, or do we go through the organic route? Now, Alex, how do you say his last name, Moose?
Hermosi.
There you go. Alex him, right?
He said Alex him. Yeah, that guy, what he said.
Yep, absolutely. No offense, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm just bad with names. But Alex dropped this TikTok that was really dope that I sent to Moose about organic and how much he pays to create content. So let's watch this.
Us to put out the stuff that we put out right now across all platforms for Layla and I costs about $70,000 a month. That's to put out roughly 160 pieces of content a week. You're like, oh my God. I'm like, I know, it's a lot. So if I were to just pay for the impressions, it would cost me about $2 million a month to get the impressions that right now cost me about $70,000 a month. I have a lot of cost savings doing it organically. The lever on that though is how good you are.
Now, the battle is the paid one. Because shout out to Marcus, aka him 500. He said, I built $1 million business, all organic with no paid advertisement, is one of the dumbest statements I hear entrepreneurs say with glory. It's really disheartening that you made 1 million when you could have made 10. Let's discuss. Okay, let's discuss. All right. So, how I feel about organic and paid is you use organic until you can't, but you created a position for yourself on social media as deemed expert of that niche and that market to then put paid ads to keep you on top, right? That's how I look at an organic and paid kind of situation. I don't think either one is right or wrong. Like, you have to pay regardless, right? Now, if you're starting, I don't believe go start with creating content and doing paid ads off top. I don't believe in that just because, first off, you don't even know what you're paying for, right? Second, you're now getting in a flow of the only time you're going to see growth from followers is through paid. And there's a lot of things you can do organic to grow your following. Just some people don't have patience. I just don't feel like paying for people. That's just me, right? I did think how much he pays for content is crazy. But how much he makes, not like how much he puts out a day, a month, it makes sense because he's all over the place. Like, I see him on YouTube. I see him on TikTok. I don't necessarily see him on Instagram because I don't follow him, right? But the places I do see him, and the people who's he's associated with, I'm just like, yo, you are everywhere. But that's the point. My organic content is going to be everywhere. My paid ads is going to end once I stop paying. My organic content could last forever. And that's what I love about organic content, because you put it out there. It may not hit right away, but something could happen and it could blow up. And there's nothing you could do about it. It's like, whoa, where did this come from? Can that happen with paid ads? No. Once that campaign is done, it's done. But I do believe every business should get to a point where you do paid ads. Because like I said, it will keep you on top of the mind and in front of people, because we do live in this very algorithm kind of vibes. So if you are trying to sell something, having a certain kind of campaign, absolutely put money behind it if you have a campaign going. Now, if you don't have a campaign going, absolutely not. For what? For what? Like now it becomes a metrics situation. Now you're just doing it so you can have your following to go up, which is cool. But in all seriousness, have a strong organic strategy so that it could flip later on to a paid campaign. That's how I feel about it.
No, that's a good word. That's a good word. And I feel very similar to that too. You know, the part that I'll add onto it is on the back end, but you know, I see it as when you're it's like start and scale, right? The strategies, you have one when you're starting, one when you're trying to scale. Of course, when you're in the beginning of your journey, organic reach is the best way. Because if you come out the gate and you're already advertising or you're already using that way to connect with people and grow your audience using that metric, I think people are going to always, in the back of their minds, know, well, what's the catch? Right? Like you're coming, I'm meeting you at hello, you're telling me, let me pay you something. Or, you know, let's just think of it that way. So I think it doesn't build as strong of an organic or a natural connection between you and the audience when you're starting with paid. However, when you start to say, okay, I'm trying to scale the business now, I'm wanting to scale the brand now, you're going to need paid ads at some point.
Yes.
Now, the part that I liked about Marcus's tweet is, in a way, it was a reminder of first generation entrepreneurs, the pride, ego, and misinformation that they have.
Right.
Right. That's kind of how I took it, right? Because you come into it with pride, you have a broken learning system about what success looks like. You think it's about being self-made. You think that gives you a bigger trophy on, let's say, the journey of entrepreneurship, where in some case it does, but the reality is nobody is self-made.
Right.
Nicky, if you listen to this episode of the podcast, we contribute to your business growth. You're not self-made. If you listen to a book, if you listen to, you know what I'm saying? Like the overall connection that you build, or the overall, say, pieces of information that you pick up along your journey, that's people pouring into you, right? Either directly or indirectly to contribute to your success. So I think it's the pride in someone to say, I did it this way. And so you miss out on bigger opportunities because you're bringing an old school method to something that can now help you to do way more. And by the way, the difference between 1 million and 10 million is a lot. That's a lot. That's a much bigger business. That's forget the fact that, oh, okay, it's 10 times more. No. That's a totally different ball game. 7 versus 8 figures. So yeah, I think that was the part that stuck out to me. It was like, oh man, a lot of us need to, you know, of course, when we get to that level, like, forget about pride and ego and all that stuff and update your learning system to figure out what's new, what's really happening now, because you can utilize those vehicles and help scale your business significantly faster.
I agree. And I think I definitely didn't disagree with Marcus, right? I do think there needs to be just a level of both. That's all. I don't want 100%. One person to read Marcus. Like I didn't want it to be, who do you pick? Like, do I go with organic? Do I go with paid? It's always like, you still need that organic because you still need that binge-worthy content that people, when they do discover you through ads, when they do discover you through the paid situations, they have stuff to watch, right? not just pure campaign stuff and like one or two things, right? They have a good amount of videos, pictures, written, whatever, in your catalog to watch and consume, where the paid one is going to attract them to you sometimes. So yes, for scalability, absolutely. Paid all day. But if you have not really mastered organic, you're just going to spend money just to spend money. And you also need to grow a community that will share your organic stuff for you without paying ads. But that's just my 2 thoughts.